Days and mornings lately have been a little bit slower. I feel like I'm preparing for the busyness that is to come with the spring wedding season and also recovering from a winter of seasonal depression and honestly just lack of motivation. I did a lot of projects in the fall last year and I kind of just lost all motivation and drive to do things over the winter, which I feel like is pretty common. And now I'm just starting to get some of that back. So I'm definitely super grateful for the sun and just, yeah, feeling better. Something that makes me feel so much better is being outside, and that's part of why I'm starting my very first garden this spring. I'm planting fruits and veggies and flowers, and my goal for the future is to provide over 80% of my household food, and I want to have chickens and goats and live on a little homestead, so this is the beginning of that dream, and I'm really excited. I spent the winter researching and reading and watching YouTube videos and trying to gain as much knowledge as I could, although I still feel like I don't know anything, which is kind of funny. I bought this little greenhouse to start seeds in because I really want to try to keep the cost down on starting a garden. I know things can rack up really easily, and so I'm trying my best to source things off of Facebook Marketplace or find free items. This greenhouse was about $40, so I'm hoping it'll last me a couple seasons. You probably can tell it already has a piece of tape on it because it ripped, so we'll see if that happens. But yeah, so far in my greenhouse, I've planted celery, broccoli, leeks, and thyme. And later on in this video, you're going to see me plant some tomatoes and flowers and just start them in the greenhouse. And then, not depicted in this video, I actually planted some parsley and some different flowers in the yard. Although it snowed a few days after I planted them, so honestly, I have no idea what to expect. Something else that I'm starting for the very first time is composting, and like gardening, I feel like I've read and researched so much, but I still don't feel like I know anything. I actually won this composting bin for free last fall. I went to a free composting class held by a local store, and I knew this raffle was happening, and so on the way there in the car, I prayed, and I said, Lord, I know this is silly and small, but I feel like I've never won anything, so would you just help me win this, because it would be super cool. These composting bins can be kind of expensive, even though they're just a plastic bin. So yeah, I got there, and at the end, they picked my name out of the bucket, and I was so happy. I told them, I was like, I prayed for this, and they thought it was super cool. So this week I'm also planting some tomatoes, some cherry tomatoes and regular tomatoes, and then some different varieties of flowers. As you can see, I'm using some old toilet paper rolls that I've just been saving and collecting, and I'm actually going to plant the toilet paper rolls right into the ground so that I don't have to disturb the roots at all. I read this tip in a book, and we'll see how it goes because I've never tried it before. A lot of my adult life so far has been constantly wanting to go on crazy adventures and never wanting to be home, especially living in Tennessee in the Nashville area. I just don't really like it. I definitely prefer mountains, I prefer coasts, and I just love God's beauty. So it's not my favorite place, but I feel like God has worked so much in my heart with being content. And now my heart just really longs for home and for steadiness and just finding joy in the simple things. I really find joy in flowers and our yard, and we built a fence over New Year's. It's not done yet, but it still has provided so much, honestly, joy, and we've gotten so much use out of it. Rufus has a place to run around, and it makes our yard feel more like ours, our own space. So I really love that. more things that have been bringing me joy lately have been spending time with Wesley and taking Rufus on walks when it's not super cold out. I love just walking around our neighborhood and looking at all the different houses, and even some of the flowers are starting to bloom in the trees too. I love burning candles at night. I feel like I found a new love for candles. I don't know why, they just make me feel so cozy, and especially when the sun has been setting a little bit early still. Another thing that I've loved doing recently is cooking and baking, and I'm not always in the mood to do it. I'm sure everyone can relate with that. Sometimes I just end up asking Wesley to cook. I don't even care what it is, just do it for me because I don't feel like doing it. But I do love just slowing down and taking the time to intentionally prepare food. It always turns out so yummy, and I definitely am super passionate about what I put in my body. I mean, that's part of why I'm starting a garden, actually the majority of the reason. But yeah, I just have been loving trying new recipes, and today I'm actually making a new one that I've never tried before, and I didn't even think it was possible, honestly, with some of my restrictions. But I found a recipe, and I'm gonna try making cinnamon rolls, so we'll see how they turn out. I'm super excited to try them, and yeah.
You've been sleepy all day. Ask her her name. She said she met Rufus yesterday.
Oh yeah.